Welcome to today's podcast, where we're diving into the latest buzz in US immigration, the Trump Gold Card program. I'm Dr. Annie Chawla, Managing Director at Immigrate.ai, and I'm thrilled to be joined by the expert team from West Ontario Law, a leading firm in immigration law. With us today is Nora Easy, a seasoned immigration attorney. Thank you so much for being here, Nora.
For having me, Annie. It's an exciting time to talk about this good card idea. There's a lot of speculation and even more questions from prospective clients and the public in general.
Absolutely. For those who haven't heard, President Trump announced this Gold Card program on February 25, 2025, a $5 million ticket to US residency and a path to citizenship, pitched as a replacement for the EB-5 investor visa. It's bold, it's pricey, and it's got people wondering, what does this mean for compliance and due diligence? So let's break it down for our listeners, especially those high net worth individuals eyeing this opportunity. Nora, why don't you kick us off with the big picture?
Let's start with the fundamentals. The Gold Card, as announced by President Trump, is being framed as a premium immigration pathway. $5 million paid directly to the US Treasury in exchange for permanent residency, bypassing the traditional EB-5 job creation requirements. On the surface, it's an attractive option for high net worth individuals looking for a more straightforward route to residency. However, immigration is a highly regulated space, and programs like this don't just materialize overnight. The first big question is legal feasibility. Can this actually be implemented without congressional approval, given the timeline of 2 weeks we're hearing in the news? The EB-5 program, which this is supposed to replace, was created by Congress. So dismantling or significantly altering it would likely require legislative action. While the administration could introduce a new investor visa category through executive action, it could face legal challenges.
Right, and compliance is where things really get tricky. With EB-5 investors, they have to prove their funds are lawful and they navigate a ton of red tape. What do you think the Gold Card might demand in terms of due diligence, given that $5 million is a huge price tag?
Exactly. Compliance is where this program could face serious scrutiny. Under the EB-5, investors must provide a detailed source of funds analysis, demonstrating their investment capital comes from lawful sources. This means presenting tax records, business names, property sales, inheritance documents, and sometimes even affidavits from financial institutions. The burden is significant, and the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services has historically been strict in vetting EB-5 applicants to prevent money laundering and financial fraud. Now, with the Gold Card program, the key question is whether similar safeguards will apply. If the US Treasury is the direct recipient of the $5 million, how deeply will they investigate the origins of these funds? One possibility is that the program will require a comparable level of documentation to EB-5, meaning applicants will still need to show bank statements, asset sales, and tax compliance records. But then there is another scenario, a more streamlined process, where the government assumes that anyone willing to pay $5 million has the financial standing to qualify. If they take this approach and weaken due diligence, it could open door to appeals. The US has strict anti-money laundering laws, and any fast-track investor visa would need to align with the Bank Secrecy Act, the Patriot Act, and international financial regulations. FinCEN would likely play a role in ensuring compliance. Another issue is whether this program would allow third-party financial intermediaries like investment firms or escrow services to hold or process funds before they reach the Treasury. If so, those entities would also likely have their own AML and know your customer obligations. A looser framework could make it easier for individuals with questionable financial backgrounds to enter the US without rigorous oversight, as we see in the EB-5. So the bottom line is that unless the Gold Card program has clear AML safeguards, it could become a loophole for bad actors. At the same time, if the due diligence process mirrors EB5, then the claim of it being a hassle-free pathway to US residency may not hold up. Either way, this is an area that investors and regulators should be watching closely.
Absolutely, that makes sense. As consultants, we've seen clients trip over this with EB5, forgetting a key document or not realizing how far back USCIS digs. For the gold card, prospective clients might be thinking, I've got the cash, I'm good to go. But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it's not. It's not simple. Having the cash is just one part of the equation. Proving where it came from is another. With the EB5, applicants must provide a detailed source of funds report that traces the investment back several years, often requiring bank statements, tax records, business transactions, and even gift documentation if funds were transferred from family members. If the gold card follows a similar due diligence model, investors will need to demonstrate not just that they have $5 million, but that it was earned through legitimate means. Even if the program is designed to be more streamlined than the EB5, it is unlikely that the US government would entirely bypass these financial vetting procedures. Given the heightened scrutiny around money laundering, particularly with high net worth immigration programs, we can expect robust compliance measures. Whether that means full-fledged United States citizenship and immigration services style adjudications or a separate Treasury Department review process remains to be seen. But either way, investors should prepare for more than just a simple bank wire transfer.
Thank you so much, Nora, for your insights. And let's talk about the client side of due diligence now, something that everybody wants to hear about. Say someone's listening, maybe a tech billionaire from Asia or maybe a real estate, tycoon from Europe. What should they be really preparing for at the current stage?
Yeah, great question, Annie. For high net worth individuals, considering the gold card preparation is key. The first step is understanding that financial due diligence isn't just about proving you have the money, it's about proving how you got it. Recommendation is start by gathering comprehensive financial records. This means tax returns, audited financial statements, business registration documents, and proof of major asset sales or investments. If the funds were gifted or inherited, you will need clear documentation showing the source of those funds as well. Investors should also be prepared to show a transparent money trail, including bank transfers, investment transactions, and any relevant business dealings. Next, you can consider potential red flags. If your wealth comes from complex corporate structures, offshore accounts, or cryptocurrency transactions, additional scrutiny is likely. In such cases, working with financial and legal professionals who specialize in source of funds documentations can make a significant difference in avoiding delays or rejections. Finally, compliance extends beyond finances. Expect background checks, including criminal history screening, international sanction reviews, and even political exposure assessments. The US government will likely want to ensure that applicants don't pose national security risks or have ties to money laundering or financial crimes. The bottom line, investors should treat this as more than just a financial transaction. It's an immigration process that requires careful documentation and strategic planning well before submitting an application.
And that's where we come in as consultants, helping clients anticipate those demands. I've had a lot of clients surprised by how invasive it gets. Like, wait, they want my ex-spouse's tax returns because of a divorce settlement? What's another due diligence hurdle you see, Nora, apart from, of course, divorce settlements?
Yeah, I see timing and transparency. The gold card with what we're hearing is supposed to roll out fast. But if your funds are tied up in complex offshore trusts or you've got gaps in your record, you're looking at delays or worse, rejection. Clients need to be upfront with professionals like us, legal professionals, consultants from the jump. hiding a sketchy deal from 10 years ago. No, that's a non-starter. The Immigration Services Department has tools to sniff it out, and the penalties for misrepresentation are brutal. Think permanent bans from the United States.
Exactly. And here's another angle. With EB5, regional centers often handle some of the compliance legal work, but the gold card sounds like a direct payment to the government. Does that shift the burden onto the applicant?
Yeah, big time. Without a regional center as a middleman, applicants are on the hook to prove everything themselves. Mm-hmm. No one's preventing the investment like with the EB5 project. It's you, your lawyer, and the mountain of paperwork facing USCIS. That's why partnering with pros like us at West Ontario Law or your team at immigrate.ai is basically non-negotiable.
Thank you so much, Nora. So practical tips, what should a prospective gold card client do right now?
I would say step one, start gathering documents like yesterday, passports, financial statements, proof of income. Get it organized. Step two, consult with an immigration attorney and the consultant to assess risks. Maybe your funds are clean, but you've got a business partner on a sanctions list. That's a problem. Step three, be ready for uncertainty. President Trump has said 2 weeks, but Congress hasn't signed off yet. Immigration isn't an executive free-for-all. The Constitution gives Congress the reins. So we might likely see legal challenges or delays.
That's a great point. And as consultants, we're already telling clients, don't bank on March 31st. This could get tied up in courts or need a bill passed. Anything else they should watch for, Nora?
I would say tax implications and ongoing compliance. President Trump has hinted gold card holders might not pay income tax on US generated income, but that's unconfirmed and unlikely without legislation. Plus, once you're in, you're under US scrutiny. Annual reporting, maybe residency requirements. Clients need to know this isn't just a one and done deal.
Right, it's a commitment. And to all our listeners, this is why due diligence isn't just about getting in, it's about staying in. The US doesn't hand out residency to anyone with a fat wallet. They want to know who you are and where your money is coming from.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. The gold card's a shiny opportunity, but it's wrapped in layers of compliance. Clients who prep smart and work with experts will come out ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nora, for breaking this down for us and to our listeners. If you're intrigued by the gold card or just want to explore your options, please reach out to me at Annie@immigrate.ai, or you can reach out to Nora at West Ontario Law. And my team and Nora's team will be happy to speak to you in detail about the due diligence and compliance aspects of this particular program. Let's navigate this together. Until next time, stay informed and take care. And thank you so much, Nora, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Annie. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. And until next time, take care of yourself and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.